Breyers here, and in today's video we are going to be doing the WikiHow tutorial of how to collect Breyers. Obviously, I know how to collect Breyers. At least I like to think that I do. But apparently there's a correct way, so we're gonna be checking that out in this video. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. This WikiHow tutorial is obviously called How to Collect Breyer Model Horses. It was updated November 23rd, 2019. This is a heckin' fresh article. Obviously, it's up to date with the hottest new trends. Alright, so the first paragraph says, collecting Breyer models is a fun social hobby that excites people all around the world. This is true. Since there are thousands of different models, you can make your collection completely unique. Learn how to choose a theme, locate more models, and care for your collection. Alright, so we're learning 3 different things in this WikiHow tutorial. Let's see what those 3 things have to offer for us. Part 1. Setting collection goals. Decide which size Breyer model you prefer. There are many Breyer model horses, so most collectors don't try to collect every single one. One way to build a satisfying collection is to choose one size of Breyer model and focus on that. Obviously for my collection, I like to focus on traditionals. I do have stablemates, but I'm not like a huge fan of them anymore. They're just so small and I never do anything with them. I used to be a huge classic collector when I started out, and most people really are, because the classics are great size, they're really affordable, and there's just so many of them. I don't collect classics anymore. I think that's just because nobody does, unless you're just starting out. So that's why I don't collect classics, but traditionals are like where it's at for me. As y'all can tell, my collection is basically all traditionals. I do have some Schleicks in there, but this is the size that I prefer just because it is a fantastic size. There are so many different molds and the models are just absolutely insanely gorgeous. Plus, it's so easy to make tack for these guys. Step 2, find horses based on a certain mold. Okay, so this is gonna be about congaing. I'm not like a huge conga person. I was originally, but now I really like a heckin' good variety. I am slowly trying to thin out my congas, so that's why they're slowly leaving, so I can get more shelf space for more exotic beans. The mold is a metal sculpture made to create a new shape or posture. Is it metal? If you particularly like the shape of a model, try tracking down every horse made on that mold. Horses from the same mold are often decorated with many different paint jobs, so you do not need to sacrifice variety for consistency. I mean, that's true. Obviously, there are lots of different beads on the molds that are offered, but I just don't really like having horses in the same exact position. I just don't really do congas anymore. As y'all can tell on my shelves, I do have some congas. There are people who really only prefer to collect models on the same mold. I happen to really enjoy a good variety in my beans, but there are congas that do happen by accident, like my Ethereals and, you know, my Peter Stone Morgans. The good thing about congas though is that if you have a favorite mold, there are so many gorgeous colors on it, and it's always fun to be able to collect a variety of colors. Also, if you're trying to conga a Peter Stone mold, Peter Stone does offer factory customs, so as you can tell, all of my Andalusians are a different factory custom, and I think that's just so cool that they do that. Step 3, pick a breed or color. If you love Arabians, Highland ponies, Shire horses, or any other breed, consider forming a color-coordinated collection. Oh, but that doesn't really have to do with the color of the horse. That's talking about breeds. So that would be a breed coordinated collection, would it not? You can even base your collection around non-breed related attributes, such as white feet, or do they mean socks? Such as white feet or a black mane that is shared by individual horses. If you own a living horse, try collecting models that look like it. So if I wanted to collect models that look like Catcher, I would just go for flea bitten grays. He has chestnut flea bites, and most of the Breyer models are gray flea bites, but you know what? They all kind of look the same. I really enjoy the flea bitten grays that Breyer makes, mainly because I own a flea bitten gray. Am I biased? Probably. That would be fun, but then all of your model horses would look the exact same. If I just wanted to collect grays, this tiny little section is kind of what it would look like. While there's a huge variety of the grays that Breyer does, I really personally don't think I would want a collection of only one color of horse, because while I do love grays, I happen to also like chestnuts or buckskins, anything like that. I think it's always fun to have a variety of colors in your collection, so while it could be very aesthetically pleasing to only have grays, it's also a lot of fun to have everybody else. Step 4, look for rare models. Try this if you have money to spare and enjoy a collecting challenge. Breyer releases special limited edition horses and you can earn bragging rights among the collector community if you track them down. Alright, so I got tea with that. Please don't brag if you own a rare model horse, because a lot of the collectors in the model horse community, especially if they're starting out, don't have money to spend on rare model horses. It doesn't matter if you own rare horses. Regular runs are amazing, and I don't really enjoy seeing when people who have rare horses put other people down because they have regular runs. We all started with regular runs. We don't start buying like $3,000 artist resins. Is that how much they cost? I don't even know. I don't collect artist resins. I don't know. I personally don't see people bragging about owning rare model horses. I think that's just something that they put. And also, you don't need rare model horses to have a cool collection. I originally had a bunch of regular runs in my collection and I loved it. It does not matter what rarity your model horse is. As long as you collect what you like, then you'll be happy. Here's just a small overview of if my collection was only rarer model horses. While I do love all of these guys and they're all pretty limited, I personally don't think I could only do a collection of super rare models just because all of these guys were so expensive. While I did get most of them either at Breyer Fest or for free or in a partial trade, if I were to buy them secondhand off of the market, they would be ridiculously expensive. Plus, I do like a whole lot of the new regular runs that Breyer has come out with, and you can't go wrong with having some less expensive models because then you can do so much more with them without the fear of them being scratched. Step 5, choose a theme. People often collect model horses from a certain time period or a certain region. Is that true? Do people really do that? Some collect horses that are famous for a certain sport, such as racing or jumping. This is a fun way to explore your interests and make your collection unique. Alright, well, I have not really seen people have a theme collection just because there aren't really that many horses from like time periods. Like if you look at the Roman Empire, I mean, horses are horses. Like they could fit in the Roman Empire, they could fit in today's day and age. So really, a themed collection, I don't really see many of those. Unless you're trying to only collect paints, or if you're only trying to collect space, then I guess that would be a theme, but I don't really see time period themed collections. Okay, so I don't have horses from a different time period, so I just went with the theme of paints. So if I only wanted to collect paints, obviously there is a huge variety of them because Breyer does paints on literally every single mold, and so does Peter Stone. I happen to love paints a whole lot. Paints and Appaloosas, man, those are like my weakness. I also happen to really like solid colored horses too, and sometimes I feel like I do have too many paints. While this is absolutely gorgeous, I don't think I could have an entire collection of only paints. We're on to part 2 of this, which is growing your collection. So now that we've picked out a theme for our collection and kind of like what we would like to collect, now we gotta figure out how to grow our collection. Step 1, browse retail stores and websites. Toy stores might carry recent models. Horse supply stores often stock higher quality models and holiday specials. If you can't find what you're looking for nearby, order models directly from the Breyer website or other horse model sites. Model horse sites, we're gonna go with it. Okay. I don't actually have any toy stores around me, and the horse supply stores around me only have model horses around Christmas time, and really that's just the regular runs. I will go onto eBay and Mercari. Those are the 2 places that I buy my horses from the most. I don't really have any in-store places. If I do buy a model in person, it's either at the Tractor Supply exclusives or just randomly stumbling upon a model. Step 2, check for used models. These are often much cheaper and they sometimes are sold by someone who doesn't know what he or she has. Visit charity shops, yard sales, and other places where you can find used goods. Look at model horses on online used good websites. Alright, so I used to go antiquing all the time to find model horses. I don't do it anymore because a lot of the model horses at antique shops are way overpriced and a lot of the antique shops around me closed down. And they never really had model horses. So if you do live in a place that has a lot of antique shops, it was always so much fun to go to them and you're gonna find cool model horses, but just be careful on how much you pay for them because antique shops are notorious for overpricing model horses. Step 3, look for model horse shows in your area. I don't show, so I don't think this one's gonna apply to me. The goods here are usually more expensive than other models, but there's a great selection of top quality models. Actually, I think a lot of people that go to live shows and get model horses from them actually pay less than how much they would pay online because then you don't have to pay for shipping, and lots of times if you're in person you can work out a good deal with people. Step 4, budget in advance. Breyer Breyers are expensive. I will give them that. Especially once you get into more serious collecting. Step 5, do your research. This is so true, especially when I started collecting. I did not do research on how much model horses were worth, so I actually sometimes paid like double the price of how much a model should have been. So what I do is I go on eBay and then I type in the model's name, and if it's a good deal, I'll get it, but if it's not, then I wait, because a lot of the times if it's like a more common model, you'll be able to find it at Breyer Fest, or it will pop up on eBay or Mercari later on. You just need to be patient. All right, on to part 3. So this part is called caring for your Breyer models. Step 1, decide whether to open the packaging. If you plan on reselling the model, leave it in its original packaging to keep its value high. I personally don't think that packaging adds a value to the model horse, especially if it's a rarer model. You kind of want to take it out of the packaging just to make sure that it doesn't have rubs on it or anything, and if you leave a model in the packaging over time, the yellow from the box could stain the model. I don't really know if the box adds a whole lot of value to the model. Yes, some people really do enjoy having the packaging. It is very aesthetically pleasing to look at, but at the same time, I don't really know if it increases the value to have it. Number 2, display your models on clean shelves. I'm so bad at this. I don't ever dust my shelves. It's tragic. Keep them on shelves or cabinets free of clutter. Avoid areas where they might have liquid spilled on them or where they're likely to be knocked off the shelf. I do agree with this. You do want to make sure your model's not gonna have anything spilled on them. You don't want them to randomly be knocked over, because then they'll get flaws or they'll domino effect and then everybody will be affected. That dog hair though. Yeah, I don't really dust my shelves that often. It's just so much work. Step 3, keep them away from sunlight and heat. All right, I don't even follow this because I have a window in my room and I'll open my window and the sun will shine on my models, but our windows have screens on them, so it's not direct sunlight, so I don't think it really matters. Breyers will melt if left in very hot conditions, such as a car during the summer. Even in cooler temperatures, direct sunlight can cause them to fade or change shape. I personally have never had an issue with direct sunlight causing damage to my models, but I do know that if you have an older model that has yellowed, a lot of people will actually leave them outside in the sun for about a month to get the yellowing to turn back to white. So I don't really understand the whole sunlight thing. Obviously, if you have a custom, I think it will affect the custom, but if it's an original finish, I don't know if it really affects them that much. This is something I don't know a whole lot about, so I don't know. Step 4, and the very last step is dust regularly. It's something I don't do. Carefully dust whenever it begins to build up. If a model gets dirty, clean the Breyer horse gently with a damp, soft cloth plus a little dishwashing liquid if necessary. I actually give my model horses a bath with a soft toothbrush just because it will get any dirt or any grime that they might have. I use that and some dish soap, and I have had great luck with that, and then I'll use like microfiber towels to dry them off with. Alright, so here we have Hurricane, my Titillus. I low-key forget to always dust the top shelf when I do dust, so he's a little nasty. Alright y'all, so that's actually going to be the end of today's YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, please remember to slap the like button as hard as you possibly can to show this YouTube video a little bit of love. Also, if you're feeling exotic, please don't forget to check out my Instagram account, which is at InfinityBreyersCo. I post on there daily and I'm super active on there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on an upload. And other than that, y'all, I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Bye!
We will rise up and we follow the